What's up, guys? Hopefully you're all having a good day. To be honest, I'm not at the moment. I think, to be honest with you, I think for me at the moment, I'm just incredibly bored. Like, basically, what my days are consisting of at the moment is just getting up and spending practically the whole day, watching TV and playing video games because there's nothing else for me to do. I think I don't know when my next job coach session is going to be. I'm presuming that's going to be next week or the week after. I'm not entirely sure. We'll hopefully find out more about that. Obviously, we're still waiting for an email back from the job coach as to as to whether they can find they found somewhere else for us for me to meet with the job coach because I wasn't happy with not comfortable with meeting at the town hall in Whitechapel. Although they did want me to meet up there, meet up with the job coach there because it would be easier for them. Hopefully we'll find out more obviously in the next couple of weeks. So, fingers crossed. Obviously, I've also got there's no there's no obviously I usually do drumming on a Monday. Can't book any drumming sessions now until after the Easter holidays. It's just frustrating. Like every day, like I'm just getting so bored of looking at the same four walls all day, every day. Like I don't really go out unless I need to go out. You know, Now and again, I will go and I will take myself over to the London Docklands Museum and just spend a little while walking around in there, looking at stuff. But even that's starting to lose its appeal, and I'm starting to lose interest in that because, I've been in there so many times now and seen everything that's in there, quite a few times, and I just feel like there's no point going over there and looking at stuff that I've already looked at so many times before. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do like the London Docklands Museum. It's just that I have seen all of the stuff they have in there so many times. It's like there's not really, I don't really have that desire to go over there all that often. It's not somewhere that I would go to every single week. I go there every few weeks or so, and even that's a stretch at the moment. I mean, it's just hard. I mean, the problem is that there's so many places we'd love to go to, but we just don't have we just don't have the money to be able to afford it. You know, to be honest, there was one thing that I was somewhat hopeful of this year, and that is that we were gonna be able to go away on holiday this year. Which would obviously be our first family holiday. Um, since my granddad passed away, got rest his soul a couple of years ago. But again, we just can't afford to do it. The thing is, it's like the caravan itself would cost like 400 or 500 quid. I mean, we would probably go for the bronze, the standard caravan, which is what we always tend to go for because we can't really afford to go for a gold or a silver or gold or platinum caravan. One of the more popular market ones. We always go for the standard, you know, standard caravans because that's what we can afford. You know, adding on to that, obviously spending money would be an issue. We'd also be relying on train fares now because, going back, years ago, we never that was train fares was one of those things that we never really had to worry about because we used to have my granddad, and he used to drive us down to Great Yarmouth, which is where we always went when we went away. We'd always go down there because we loved Great Yarmouth so much. And I was, saying that in the video I did the other day. I was saying that, we love going down to Great Yarmouth, and my granddad would always drive us down there. But obviously he's now passed away, bless him, and that means that we would now have to rely on train fares, and train fares are not that cheap. So adding all that together, you'd need at least over possibly £1,000 if not less. Um, it's sad that like there are so many things that we want to do, but we just don't have the money to do it. We went to Rarity, which is obviously up at Stratford, about 3 or 4 weeks ago. We went there for the first time, and that was really nice. Although it is hellishly expensive in there, that's probably a place that we will only be going to every couple of months because of how expensive it is in there, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Um, I mean, it must be great for those that don't have to worry about being able to afford anything. It must be I mean, I'd love to be able to buy whatever I wanted, and not have to worry about being able to afford something, being able to put up a holiday whenever I want to. I mean, I've been getting really pissed off with hearing about other people's holidays. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm happy to for those that are getting to go away, that they're able to afford that, but it's just pissing me off, like hearing about people's holidays, knowing that we can't really afford to book one ourselves. We don't have the money to do that. Um, this is the thing, is like, it's always about the money. We can't do this because we can't afford it. We can't do that because we can't afford it. That's how life is for us. We can't do this because we can't afford it. We can't do that because we can't afford it. I wish that, to be honest, I'd love to win the lottery, but lottery wins don't happen to people like us. We're never that lucky. I mean, the thing is, this is the thing, like, you would never hear of anyone around here actually winning the lottery. I don't know if anybody around here ever has won the lottery, but certainly not something we ever hear about that often. But it's just madness, like, there are places that I'd love to go to that I haven't been to for years, like London Transport Museum, London Zoo, the aquarium, the Sea Life Aquarium up at Westminster, you know, places like that, places that, I have a, natural history museum as well, science museum, you know, I'd love to go to places that I've not been to for a while. But again, we don't have the money to do that. And I mean, obviously, I can't go to places like that on my own. Obviously, I would need someone to go with me. But, you know, it's just hard. Like, sitting in here all day, every day, not really having anything to do. Just sat in here, basically looking at the same four walls all day, every day. You know, it's starting to drive me insane. Obviously, I'm not working at the moment. Obviously, I've not been in a job since I left my job at McDonald's last year, which at the end of the day, I've never regretted doing. And I always, every time I think about it, I always know that I made the right decision. I don't ever think about it and think, I made the wrong decision in leaving the job. When I think about the negative effect that it was having on my mental health, I knew I had to do it. I knew I had to leave. You know, it had gotten to the point where I wasn't enjoying it there. I wasn't happy in the job, and that was a big part of why I left. And I think that if that opportunity presented itself, where I was able to go back to work there, I wouldn't do it. I would never want to go back to work there. It's not an opportunity I would take. It's not an opportunity that I would be willing to accept. You know, I mean, when I think about it now, like, I kind of wish that I never, agreed, and I never agreed to, agreed to work there. You know, um, I just feel like I should know. I probably shouldn't have been working at McDonald's. Like, it just wasn't the right environment for me, and the sort of environment that was suitable for me. I think had I been working in like a smaller place, like a bakery or something like that, I probably would have been way happier than I was eventually at McDonald's. I mean, the thing was, I knew what I wanted to do. Like, I wanted to do here and stuff, him preparing food. That was what I was interested in. But for the most of the majority of the time I was there, I was working at the front of the house. I was working at customer service. To be honest, I only thought I would only be doing customer service for a couple of months or a few months, and then they would move me on to like more of the food prep stuff. But the fact is, I ended up doing customer service for the majority of the time I was there, and they never moved me off of that. I mean, there were only a few times where I did like drinks and stuff, or I was doing some kind of food prep, but the majority of the time was spent on customer service, and customer service wasn't something I wanted to do. It wasn't what I signed up for. You know, if I wanted to do customer service, I would have applied for a job in a supermarket or something like that. You know, it's just like I mean, yeah, it was good. Like the only decent thing about it was the money that I was getting. Obviously, I was getting about £265 every couple of weeks. Obviously, my wages went in every 2 weeks on a Thursday. Some days there were some times where my universal credit and my wages both went in the same week, so it was pretty handy. And obviously that money did kind of tide me over, and it helped me out in obviously, whilst I was waiting for my universal credit to go in. At least in between that, I was getting, I had the 2 weeks where I was getting my universal credit, so that wasn't too bad. But now, I mean, because obviously I'm only getting the universal credit, which is just over 700. Um, but it's like stretching. It's like trying to, it's like it's just madness. I mean, it's not that I don't like, playing video games and things like that, but I'm just getting bored of it. Like I wish I had something else to do. I wish I had something else that was allowing me to kind of get out of the house more, and I wish I had I mean, especially with the weather changing now, the weather's starting to get nicer. Um, and obviously it started to kind of slightly warm up a bit. It would be nice to be able to get out of the house and make the most of the nice weather, but again, not really got any reason to go out. It's just so frustrating. And again, as I said, it's more of a financial thing. Like we just can't afford to go, we can't afford to do this, we can't afford to do that. And it's the same thing all the time. Like we can't afford to do this, we can't afford to do that. And I think we're all getting fed up of not being able to afford to do this, that, and the other. And I think it's getting us all down a little bit. I think like there's so many things that need in this house alone that need fixing, but again, we can't afford to let them fixed. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, as I said, I'm glad that there are, it must be so good for those people that don't have to worry about being able to afford to pay, to do anything, or being able to afford to buy anything. They can buy, whatever the hell they want, regardless of how much it costs. I often think about, what I would do if I won the lottery. To be honest, I don't know what I would do with all that money. If you're getting over, the amount I mean, imagine having that much money. It'd be crazy. But as I said, lottery wins never happen to people like us. We're never that lucky. But I do wish that we were able to afford certain things. We didn't have to worry about that. Because obviously that's something that we always have to worry about is being able to afford something. To be able to afford to do this, that, and the other. You know, but we never had. We never had the money to do what we want to do. We never had the money to it's like the last few years we've made plans to book, to go away. We've not been able to book up because we just haven't had the money to do that. We haven't had the money to actually book to actually book a holiday. You know, it's like the money situation just isn't allowing us to do that. You know, I mean, I think we'd all love to go away, but the money's it's just about having the money to do that, which we don't at the moment. Um, but also I got my Universal credit going in again next Friday. So I have a bit of money there, but I've already decided that I want to put some money aside so I can get myself a new tablet, which is what I'm gonna do next week. Um, it's just like, I mean, that's probably gonna cost me at least over 100 quid for a new tablet. Probably not gonna cost me any less than that. Especially if I wanted to go for a decent tablet, then yeah, it is gonna cost me well over 100 quid. But it's what I want to do. It's what I need to. It is what I want to. I want to pay out for. Um, like this. It's just like I sit here and I think about my life, like life in general, where it's at right now. Like I'm unemployed. You know, basically stone broke. Apart from when I get my universal credit in, once a month. I'm 20. Let's face it, right? I'm 23 years old. 24 in November. I'm still living with my parents. Well, I'm still living with my mum. I've got no job. I have hardly any money apart from when my universal credit goes in once a month. I'm still single, which is funny. Um, there's just, like, my life just feels like a complete and utter mess right now. Like, where my sister is, she's settled down, got a life of her own now. She's got her own little family with her fiance and her baby daughter in a nice house up in Birmingham. And she's only 3 years older than me, so she's 27 this month. Well, but 27 in 3 months in July. So, yeah, a bit of a bummer. She's done better than I have. I think she's done a lot better than I have. You know, and it does get to me sometimes when I think about the amount of people there are who are my age, and are probably probably far better off than I am right now. You know, I just wish that I had a decent job and decent money, but who the heck in their right mind would employ someone like me? It's worth saying. Like I'm just depressed now. It just pisses me off. Like I'm what 24. Come in November, and it feels like right now. It feels like my life isn't is going absolutely nowhere. It feels like I'm on this road, but it's not leading me anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. Like my life isn't getting better. My life isn't improving. You know, it's like things just don't seem to be. Things just don't seem to be going so well for me right now. And I wish they were. I wish things were going better for me. I wish I had a better job. A good, decent job. Where I was getting decent money. I wish I had something to do. So a reason to get up every morning and go out all day, go out today. I wish I had the money to be able to do whatever I wanted to do. But again, I don't. That's not a luxury that we have, unfortunately. Yeah, there are many people that have that luxury, but that's not a luxury that we have. And it's not a luxury that we've really ever had, to be fair. You know, I mean, although, I'm not saying I'm not grateful for what I do have. As I know, me talking about, me talking like this, it probably does sound like I am a little bit ungrateful for what I have, but I am grateful for what I have. But there are times where I can't help wishing that I have more than what I had. Wishing that I had, loads and loads of money, wishing that I had a decent job, wishing that I could afford to buy whatever I wanted to buy. I could book up a holiday whenever I wanted to. I could go out to whatever place I wanted to and not have to worry about not having the money to do that. I'm sick and tired of not being able to do something because I don't have the money to do that. I'm sick and tired of not being able to buy something I want to buy because I don't have the money to do that. It's just ridiculous. Like, it's just really getting me down. But it's the boredom more than anything that's really getting to me. You know, I don't know how much more I can take of just sitting in here all day, every day, playing watching TV, playing video games. There's only so much more of that I think I can take before I go clinically insane. You know, it's just. I guess I am feeling it. I am feeling a bit miserable right now. But when I think about where my life is at this point, I can't help but feel miserable. Because it feels like my life is a complete flipping shit tip at the moment. It feels like my life is a complete mess. And it just doesn't feel like things are ever going to get better. It just feels like things are going to keep getting worse and worse and worse instead of getting better and better and better, which is what I would love. I would love is for things to get better and better and better. It doesn't feel like they ever are going to do that. You know, there's so many things I can only dream of, but that dream will never become a reality. I can only ever dream of being a millionaire with an unlimited amount of money. But then, that dream probably will never become a reality. No, I want my life to be a life of, full of proud achievements, a life that I can look back on when I'm older and go, yeah, I've had a great life. I've done so many great things. I've achieved so many great things. I don't want to be single my whole life. I don't want my whole life to be, I don't want to be looking back on my whole life thinking my whole life was a total failure. Which is what my life feels like right now. Is it feels like a bit of a failure, to be honest. But I mean, I don't know what to say. But sometimes I can't help but feel like this, like I am feeling right now. Because this whole boredom and not being like having the money to do anything, it's really getting me down. I wish I could do a more kind of uplifting more joyous video, but I'm just not in the mood to do, more uplifting videos today. I'm not, I wish I was in a better mood, but at the moment, my mood. This is the thing with me. Like, I do still have good days and bad days. Some days there are still those days. Some days where I'm in a very good mood, but then other days I'm feeling like I am today. But I think it's the boredom that is making me feel like this more than anything. I'm just sitting, as I said, all my days are really consisting of at the moment is just getting up every day and spending most of my days, but the majority of the day, playing video games and watching TV because I have nothing else to do. And I wish that my life wasn't like that. I wish I had something else to do. Something else to do, whether it was a job, whether it's an activity, whether it was, I feel like my life is going nowhere. and it's not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. And that's how I feel right now. So I just thought I would do a video on that today. Hope you've enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in another one soon. Bye bye.